how to have a more structured, more efficient day so you can actually achieve all of your goals. All right, I've made crucial mistakes when it comes to trying to plan out a day, trying to juggle a bunch of different tasks, and ultimately getting lost in my business and in my self-development journey because I didn't understand the concepts I want to share with you guys in this video. So I want to break down how to actually have the proper structure to go after your goals. And then I want to talk about a couple other concepts or techniques you can stack on top to not just have a structured day, but really allow yourself to go after higher level, higher priority actions that will ultimately allow you to become a boss or a CEO, because you can't accomplish everything you want in life if it's only you. I think at a lower level, like at the lowest level mindset is you're just lost by distractions in your day to day, right? You're a slave to dopamine, to short-term gratification, to vices, to peer pressure, to friends, to FOMO. That's the lowest level. At a higher level than that, you're actually productive. And then you could start going after your goals. But then as you go to higher and higher levels, it no longer just becomes about you, and you need to actually become even more efficient by using delegation and buying back your time and creating systems and having the SOPs in place to allow other people to do certain tasks. That's higher and higher and higher levels as you start to grow through this. But let's just start out with a basic structure. So before anything, it's evaluating what are the distractions in your life that are preventing you from actually accomplishing your goals. Lowest levels, this is going to be alcohol, weed, parties, hanging out with unproductive friends, TV, too much TV consumption, too much social media, video games, all of this bullshit, right? That and bad food and bad sleep, like not eating clean, not getting good sleep, not having your hormones optimized, and having all of this bad stuff in your life is just going to be dragging you down. If you've already got a decent amount of that stuff dialed in, we'll evaluate what are the one or two biggest distractions that you still have going on in your life, and how can you remove those things so you could be fully optimized internally. Once we have that out the way, the next thing is really creating some structure in your day-to-day. So I would like you to think about what are the main goals that you want to accomplish right now for your self-development, for your diet, your fitness, physique, for your confidence, for your social, for your dating life, for your friends, for your social circle, and then also for your business, for your content, for your brand, for your side hustle, for whatever lane that you are tapping into to make more money. All right, now in these different areas, there's only a couple small tasks that you need to be focusing on that will actually move the needle. And I've made the mistake in my journey of getting lost doing so many different tasks, answering these emails, doing this other thing, helping my video editor with a certain task. Like back in 2021, I would be working so closely intertwined in the video editing process, I didn't even end up doing the main task I needed to do that would actually lead to me making more money. All right, so you need to evaluate for yourself. If it's working out and it's diet, really the main things is making sure that your meals are probably prepped out and very well calculated so you know exactly how many calories are coming in, and then hitting at least on the low end 3, on the high end 4, 5, 6 workouts per week where you're actually breaking down the muscle. If it's organic content growth, it's going to be making sure that you're recording the content to put out there, right? Like I needed to set aside time throughout my day right now to film this video. That was an important part of my day right now. I need to prioritize that thing. It is only 10 in the morning right now and I'm filming this video. And I don't want to make the mistake of putting this on the back burner and handling all of these other small bullshit irrelevant tasks in my day to day. And that's what I see going on with a lot of guys. They want to build a business. They want to accomplish their goals. But if I actually look on paper what they did every hour of their day, they prolong and they push back the main tasks that they need to do for the day. And then you go through the first half of your day and you spend time talking to your boy on the cell phone for 30 to 60 minutes about how his weekend was, or some drama that you had with some girl and you wanted to share the story. And then you ended up fucking off on social media for 45 minutes because you got lost in scrolling. And then you had to go walk the dogs and you had to answer a work email. Maybe the work email was somewhat relevant, but maybe it actually wasn't. Maybe it didn't even need to be submitted till later on tonight. And before you know it, you're actually spending hours of your day prioritizing other tasks other than the 1 to 2 main tasks you really need to do. Now, for some of you guys, if you work a remote job or you actually have to go into the office, fine. When you have hours blocked out of your day that you actually need to be in the office and getting work done, you got to do that. That's a high priority task for the day. But if I would argue that if I look at the rest of your day, there are a lot of different tasks going on that are not the highest priority tasks, right? And again, this ties back to the first point, because if you're smoking weed, if you're hungover from the weekend, if you're eating bad foods, if you're sleep deprived, if you're scrolling on social media, your dopamine receptors are all fucked up, your caffeine, adenosine receptors, I think is the word, are fucked up. It's really hard to even focus so you can even get productive time to lock in on deep work, right? It can be really difficult to do that. Meditation is another important thing I do during my morning routine to allow myself to have a clear head and not get so distracted by the day-to-day BS that gets thrown at me. But it's laying out what are the main tasks you need to do today, what are the start times and end times that you are going to complete that task. So having clarity internally first by removing all the distractions, then having clarity on what are the main actions I need to do today, and then evaluating what you've been doing in your day-to-day that is the bullshit, that is not the highest priority tasks, then executing on those tasks. Now, once you start doing that more and more and more, and you start reflecting on your day, you might start to become a little bit more efficient using a concept I call 2-for-1s, right? So when you actually look at all the things you need to accomplish in a day, I would argue that some of these things can be done simultaneously with other activities. All right, that will actually save you time, because if I spend 30 minutes watching a YouTube video and I spend an hour commuting to the gym and doing my workout, and then I spend another hour maybe going to try to practice my social skills, and then I spend another hour coming home doing laundry, and then I spend the next hour like meal prepping, like you could waste a whole day doing single activities. And some of these activities you could probably stack on top of each other. So if you need to get a certain amount of steps in for the day, if you need to get your social interaction in for the day, if you need to practice communication because you want to get better with your maybe skills talking on camera, if you want to do cold approach, if you want to do meal prep, if you want to do laundry, you can stack multiple of these activities simultaneously to save yourself time. One of the biggest things I used to do when I first moved to Miami was I would go out for an hour and I would do my social interaction while walking around, while getting my steps in, while getting my tan, and then also in between interactions, I would be filming content that I would throw up on my stories. And I would take the best story from that and I would post that as a reel. And then I would also, whatever story was the best one, because I was in a good flow by the end of that, I could very quickly bang out a 5 to 10 minute video that I would post on my Coach Kyle Raw channel. Right, so I was able to do all of those different tasks in about an hour to an hour and a half. But if I were to tell myself, hey, I need to do 45 minutes of treadmill, then I need to go out and do cold approach for an hour, then I need to sit down and film content for an hour, then I want to take 20 minutes to lay out and get a tan, then I need to spend an hour planning out my Instagram stories. Like, you see how I could get lost in an entire day? Now, you don't need to stack all of these things together, but start thinking about the activities that you do in your day-to-day and how you could maybe combine some of them. Don't ever just watch content sitting home alone. Watch content while you're doing some sort of other activity, while you're meal prepping. While you're meal prepping, the laundry should be running. The dishwasher should also be running. Like, you can stack a lot of these things simultaneously to save yourself time. And the last part of this video I want to talk about is actually delegation and thinking more about systems and processes that you could create so you could spend the majority of your time doing the most important tasks within your business, within your self-development. So on a small scale, that might be something like meal prep. Like me personally, I used to cook every breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that will take a lot of time. It will also take a lot of mental fatigue. I have to think about what I'm gonna cook each meal. Do I have those items in my fridge? How many calories do I still have? How hungry am I? What am I really in the mood for? So my emotional state, along with mental concentration, needs to be injected into each one of those meals, and then time spent literally cooking each meal, or, oh, I don't have this ingredient, I gotta go back to the store. So I could lose anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes probably just cooking my meals. Now, that doesn't seem like that much time, especially because I enjoy cooking, right? Like, I actually enjoy cooking, it's a relaxing thing, and I like having fresh meals. But I can tell you, if that stacks up over 7 days, we're looking at 7 to 10 hours of the week. And if I stack that up over a month, now we're looking at 28 to 40 hours a month, that's a lot of time wasted on cooking. So what I do instead now, because I still like to cook and I still want to know exactly how many calories I have, and I also don't want to eat out, I just take 2 hours, maybe 3 hours to meal prep out all of my meals for the week. All right, so now I have 7 days worth of food, and if I do 3 hours, I'm gonna have like 3 different varieties of meals, right? I'm gonna have like my bison, rice, and sweet potato. I'm gonna have my chicken and broccoli, and then I'm gonna also have like my fish or my shrimp with white rice and some fresh fruit and stuff. So I have my different meals nice and prepped out, but it saved me 5 hours out of the week. I still cook it, and then honestly, if I wanted to go to an even higher level, I might have to do this at some point. I just don't like these meal prep services, but at some point, it might even make more sense for me to hire a chef that comes into my apartment that cooks out all of those meals using the ingredients and the exact macros that I want. That would actually be even more time saving, right? So you want to start thinking about this in your own life, and it's not just with meal prep, but as you get more intertwined into a business, you need to start thinking about what are the higher level actions that you need to be focusing on. Like, I've still run all of my sales calls, and the reason behind that is because I make more money when I'm closing. But honestly, guys, I can tell you, I've gotten very wrapped up in my business in a lot of different ways over the years. And I really think at the highest levels, you need to start thinking more like a CEO. You need to start thinking more like a boss, and put your ego and your pride to the side and be willing to detach from certain actions within your own business or within your own life, so it frees up more time to allow you to have the mental bandwidth and energy and focus to put into higher level items within your life, within your business. All right, it's called delegation. And this was a concept that was really difficult for me when I started my own business, because I'm a perfectionist. I built the business by myself. It was hard for me to build up other members within my business, because there's like this ego attached, and you got to understand that you're going to have to give other people the spotlight potentially even too. And there's just a lot of different things that go into that process of being able to delegate while still maintaining the integrity of the business, the infrastructure, and still having things done, getting tasks completed to an 80 to 90% of the level that it would be if it was you being the one completing the task. Right, so delegation is not easy. It takes time. You're gonna have to put your ego and pride to the side, but ultimately it's for the greater good, and it will allow you to have more time to focus on higher level tasks. Okay, so just a quick recap. If you want to remove the vices, the bad habits, the distractions, get your self-development journey and your routine dialed in, that's on the low end, right? As you get that more and more dialed in, you're gonna have more energy and focus, and now you need structure to make sure you're actually executing on the tasks throughout your day-to-day. Now, once you start doing that really good, the next level above that is you're already making good money, you're already thriving. Now you need to bring in other people that can also do some of the lower level work, and that will cost an investment on the front end. And if you have a broke mentality, you're not gonna be able to do all of this. But you need to become more of a leader and build other people up and create systems in place, so you could then allow more of your time to be going into higher level activities. And as a result, you can build up the whole business and ultimately scale not just your business, but this is also things that you would do in your day-to-day life, right? In your day-to-day life as well. So that's how you can get more mental clarity, more structure, and ultimately grow to the highest levels possible as an individual. If you want help fast tracking that whole process, because it's not easy, and I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of mistakes scaling my company since 2019, when I started to us doing multiple 7 figures at this point in 2025. I've made a lot of different mistakes in my own self-development journey. I've gotten lost in all devices. I've lacked structure and clarity of going after my goals. I've lacked accountability, and I've lacked all of these things, man. So if you want help with any of this, you can click the link down below, check out the brand new coaching programs for 2025. You can work with me personally to accomplish your goals. That's all for this video, guys. Pay attention to what you're doing in your day-to-day today, and ask yourself, are these the highest level priority tasks that need to get done to move the needle forward? I'll see you tomorrow.